Welcome back to Marvel Maniac, an MCU after show. This is your host, Eric Cicada, aka Mr. Honest. Now, it is my pleasure to be back here with you today after a few weeks. It's been a few weeks for us, and I did not make on a few promises, funny enough, meaning, I gotta stick to my name. My name is Mr. Honest, so I gotta stick to my name. There was supposed to be an after show for Loki and Black Widow that I didn't get to do with my two bestest buddies, Dustin Baker and TJ Terrence Galooly. Now, we do still plan to get together and do this after show, or just to discuss Loki and Black Widow and all of Marvel. These are my best friends, and we're going to talk about it. This is Marvel Maniac, after all. So, yeah. That being said, it's great to be here today for What If? A brand new season of a Marvel show. I'm stoked to be talking about it, and the first episode, it was really solid. I really enjoyed it. A little bit more than I thought I would. A lot more than I thought I would. Captain Carter is, no easy way to put it, an extreme badass. I really like her, and she gets things done in about a third of the time Captain America does, and just as efficiently, and literally that same amount of time. Because this episode had a runtime of about 30 minutes, and I'm guessing this is what this series, What If, Marvel's What If, we're going to be having an average runtime of about 30 minutes per episode. I'm going to be guessing. If the animation is going to be consistently this good, I mean, I don't know if anyone else would agree. The animation was pretty quality here. I really enjoyed like almost every minute of this episode. Yeah, I'm thinking this is a very promising start to this new show, onward into the Marvel series and forward into what we are calling the multiverse. And I think this is some friends or fans, not just friends. I really do wish I did this after show. Shout out to my greatest, bestest friends, Dustin Baker and TJ Galooly. We need an after show. Let it just be a show. Talking about the MCU and its state. Let it be Loki, Black Widow, just an overall discussion, because we did not have our after show, and I have acknowledged that that is totally needed. So whether it be mid-season or after this episode's happening, Marvel's What If dwells right into where, in slight spoilers for Loki, and if you haven't, and if you've recently watched any of the Marvel series, we at Marvel Maniac, aka me, Mr. Honest, have covered all of the shows the night of, since the beginning, on January 15th, when WandaVision premiered. Yeah, and I'm proud of that. And I'm excited, literally beyond excited, to see where the MCU goes beyond 2 years from now. I mean, I think we're going to finally get a slating soon. Unless we get pushbacks, we really need a Spider-Man No Way Home trailer. Like, I need one to ensure that movie is coming out this year. That'll be really good. And then to know that everything's on track to come out. Like, we don't need more, like, a year down the road situation like Black Widow for everything else. Because, like, we have everything that's been made, like, up to this point. But, like, and up to, like, Hawkeye, I think. But, like, after that, we might have this, like, splurge of content, guys. But, like, this might be, like, it for a while after Hawkeye. I'm really worried and concerned. I don't know what they're making. I don't know anything. This is just almost too good to be true. This is what I just witnessed tonight was almost, if you told me that this was true, what I just watched, I feel like I just dreamed a Marvel production. Can you believe that? Captain Carter is extremely badass, and like I said, I feel like she's the brains and the brawn. It's not that she's better than Steve Rogers. She's just more efficient and completely with the super soldier serum. As we learn in the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, as we learn in all of the Captain America series, from the very first Captain America, Erskine says the serum enhances the person. So Peggy just is all around, just all around better. She literally breaks. She literally gets this. She gets the Tesseract like so early on, and changes like the course of the war. It's just insane what she does. It's insane. I really like the way they go through the movie too, and I have to like line up and play the movie along with the show. I almost want to say that they probably painted onto the movie to animate the show. And then they animated the show, and they really did a great job of animating the show. Can we appreciate that? Okay, so for me, watching an animated show, if it's going to be within a cinematic universe, like I watch Star Wars. I'm a big fan of Star Wars, like many Marvel fans. A lot of Marvel fans cross over to Star Wars. Not everyone, and I'm not going to talk about this for too long, but this is relevant. When I'm watching Star Wars. Every year, around Christmas time too. I don't know if anyone else is like this. Like it's kind of like a Christmas series for me. Every time I get into Star Wars, I want to get so bad. I want to get into Clone Wars so bad. But the animation it stops me up. The style, I can't get into it. Maybe it's the beginning of the series, but I've tried a couple times, and I just want to. I want to get into Ahsoka Tano's story. I want to. So bad, but I can't do it. This show I was worried about too, because like you see the trailer at first I was a little worried. I'm like, maybe I won't be able to get into it, and I'm not trying to be selfish. I want to appreciate a show for a story. I mean, of course, if the story is good, I'm going to watch a show. Really want to. But if you can't get beyond the visuals, it's tough. You're watching a show, you know. It's part of it. So this show's visuals were outstanding. I can't express that more. They did a fantastic job paying homage to the movies. Whoever made this show loved these movies as much as I do. Who's making these shows for us? They take care in the product of Marvel. They know that the people who watch these shows care about them. They know that they. I don't know, man. I feel like I'm just so grateful to have this show, because what we got is even this first episode can be considered just a perfect 30 minutes of television. I don't mean to overstate or over. I just don't mean to put it up on a pedestal here, okay? But Captain Carter was kicking some ass today, and watching her go to those bags in the gym, and seeing a little different side of Steve Rogers, but still he's got all that same heart. I feel like it just works. There's something about it that's so natural. Like the love between Steve and Peggy still stands. There's nothing different about that. So that just makes sense. When Peggy becomes big and strong, like she's still such a natural leader anyway. So like there's still something so natural about that like I'm on board for that too. There's something like so familiar about the two of them. We both know them already. That like we know all these characters. So the multiverse factor of it all, it's so twisted and so awesome. This show is so cool. I mean, am I expressing this in a weird enough way, or am I relating this enough? I'm freaking excited about this show. How many times can I say it? Steve Rogers, little Steve Rogers too. He's easier to look at in animated form. Can I just say that nice one way? I don't mean to be mean to the CGI people. Can we get a remaster on Captain America: The First Avenger? Maybe a remaster of all Marvel Phase 1. Maybe the ending of give the post credit scene like a modern Thanos. Come on, let's get a modern Thanos post credits. Let's get like a remaster young. Let's make Steve Rogers in First Avenger look a little like this. He's so watchable. Dare I say cute. So at the beginning of the episode, the Watcher explains that one moment in Erskine's lab created a whole new hero. And that moment is, wouldn't you be more comfortable in that booth, Miss Carter? And she says, no, I prefer to stay. And it's a nice moment between Steve and Peggy. And I totally see it. So instead of Steve getting in, there's this moment where, like, Peggy kind of sees the guy with the explosion, and it makes him uneasy. So it's like, this is what tilts everything, Peggy being down there. And it makes everything off, throws everything off, and Steve gets shot. So she's the one that has to get back into the thing and do the experiment. She becomes a super soldier. It's so natural. It's so perfect. It works. It works. She's fit for it. She deserves it. I can't. Man, and you know what? People are going to love this. I'm not even like saying this like for you know what? Like, I'm just realizing how great this is for women, and like, I'm not even. You know what? Like, I don't say things just because they need to be said, right? It is great for women, and like, obviously that does need to be said. What am I getting at? The animation is very pretty, and I like looking at it. I'm going to keep saying that because I wrote that down too. They just do a really, really good job of resembling the actors. Howard Stark looks great. Like I said, the voice acting, it's just really good that they had the actors back. Dominic Cooper, Howard Stark, Haley Atwell, everyone. Sebastian Stan. Toby Jones is Arnim Zola. I'm on IMDb. I don't just know these people, all of these people. What am I kidding? Samuel Jackson. Who is that guy? But it's not. You know who's not listed? Steve Rogers. Like, even the character. So I wonder if that's just an off the cuff Chris Evans. Like, he just did a favor. What's going on? Where is he? After Peggy gets serumed, the guy in the office, the very rude guy, who was also rude to Steve, by the way, this guy's not very nice in any multiverse. Not very nice, man. He says Peggy, she can't be he tells her he can't be a super soldier because she's a lady. Well, watch her go, mister. Proceeds to be the best super soldier anyone's ever seen, and that's to say a lot, dude. Steve Rogers, I mean, he goes hard, dude. But she'll probably be back for that dance like next episode. Like, she'll be back with the Infinity Gauntlet. She'll be back with the Infinity Gauntlet and like have conquered the 9 realms, or dude. She'll have beaten Thanos in by like episode 4. I'm sorry, dude. She's so cool. She's so cool. She's the one. If anyone's gonna get her own show, it's Captain Carter. Dude, she's so cool. Writing Iron Man, writing Steve as Iron Man, the Hydra Smasher, the Hydra Stomper. I'm so fanning out over Captain Carter. Insanely cool. I love Peggy and Howard's friendship. I missed Agent Carter too. I missed the show. I didn't get to see the show. This inclines me to want to go watch the show. Did they take that out of the canon is my question. I don't know that. I should have looked that up. I could look that up, but I don't want to, because I don't want to know if that's true or not right now. Because I like this episode so much. And how can anything not be canon at this point with the multiverse, right? I want to go watch Agent Carter just because of how great Haley Atwell's performance was in this. He makes her super suit and Steve's Iron Man suit. He is basically suiting up the Avengers in the World War II era in this episode. What I really like in this movie is when Captain Carter does this Zola ambush and gets the Tesseract really early on and gives it to Howard Stark, and she says, pretty much make use of this. Do you know what to do with this? And he says, I know exactly what to do with this. And her attack on Zola's ambush, by the way, it is parallel to an attack Steve does in his Captain America movie. Right? I believe, when he leans up against the car, he does something similar, right? But, man, just her attacks are so cool, and the animations of them are so swift. And then, like, after she does one car, she's like, let me do another one. I don't remember what's in the trailer, because I try to avoid the trailers. Like, I'll watch a trailer, like, once or twice, and I'll try not to watch it again, right? I want to enjoy this as much as possible. So, like, I know that, like, one of those is in the trailer, but man, these moments are so enjoyable. Her flinging her shields around, knocking these Hydra agents all over the place. She just rips into this convoy and just gets the Tesseract and throws it on this guy's desk. It's honestly really sick to see Howard Stark building an Iron Man suit and Steve Rogers watching him. Very proud. The friendship between them is very sick too. It reminds me of that line from Iron Man, or when I was from Avengers. Just the guy my dad always talked about. You'd like to think either way. We didn't see it one way or another. They were friends. This is a multiverse in which, a skinnier non-Captain America Steve was probably better friends with Howard Stark. Got to hang out a little bit more, where he wasn't Captain America and just chilling a little bit more. But anyway, I just really like this. So this is a slightly different version of the saving of Bucky. And it's really cool because in Captain America, the First Avenger, right, the Hydra has the Tesseract. And this is the moment where Red Skull reveals his skull. And it's a really, Hydra has the upper hand in the movie at this point. But that is not the case here. The Allies have the upper hand. They have the Tesseract. They have the Hydra Stomper. And there are moments where Peggy is busting out the Howling Commandos. It's so funny. Bucky's like, what are you supposed to be, the Queen of England? It's just so great. Montage of Peggy kicking butt, similar to Steve's montage of him around the country. The propaganda is more genuine because they don't, I don't know, they're just literally kicking so much butt. The Hydra Stomper is so cool. I just love watching her fly on top of him. It's just so badass. I just like I like this Peggy and Steve. They are so cool together. We get a version of the Red Skull scene where he usually zapped these three Hitler delivery men. Like, there's a Hitler delivery men scene in the Captain America movie. I'm really glad we watched this together not too long ago. And he zaps them with Tesseract abilities, but in this one, he's really just, the Red Skull's really just like inferior, and he doesn't want to accept it. And for a little bit, I almost think Red Skull's got something up his sleeve, and he kind of does, but he's just weaker. And in this scene, he doesn't have Tesseract guns. He just has regular guns, and it's just kind of sadder. It's just like a leveled down version of Red Skull, which puts him on the extra defense for the end of the movie, which makes him do this like way bigger defensive thing, whiny baby defensive thing at the end of the movie. I'm calling it a movie because that's how good it was. But I was clicking back to the Captain America movie just recently, like tonight, to compare scenes, and it is very fast compared to the movie. I mean, it's definitely TV show pace, but it does a great job of hitting those beats. Really good job. So we get to the attack on the train. And it's very, very well, like, it's very, obviously every shot is perfectly similar and looks great in comparison to the other in comparison to the movie. It looks perfect, in my opinion. I knew where we were, and they were going to ambush the train. They thought Red Skull was on it. Bucky's gonna die. This is almost like, we know, in my opinion, like, your expectation of the audience, the real hardcore audience, is like, this plot top to bottom at this point. Most of the MCU, you know it real well. Like, Bucky's gonna die here. It's no good. Bucky's about to die. Here we go. No, different. Steve flies in with the Iron Man suit. Still peril, feeling of peril. Like we know, Red Skull bad. He got planned. He still knows. He knows about the Hydra Stomper. So what's gonna happen? He blows Steve up. So ouch. We still get that moment of Bucky. No, it's not Bucky. It's Steve. No, Steve. No. You know. Oh, that actually hurts. We lose Steve Rogers. That's a no-no. You don't make Peggy that mad. You don't take Steve Rogers away from Peggy Carter. That really got her angry. So, Zola tells Peggy the location after some interrogating off screen. He says, "I'll never tell you the location," and off screen she's like, "I got it from him immediately." He wants interdimensional force to rule the world, and we see how that turns out. Peggy wants to stop Hydra and burn the castle that he's hiding in to the ground. So everyone wants to do this for Steve. It's kind of in honor of Steve, what they're gonna go there for. It's kind of awesome, obviously, because Steve makes such an impact, and regardless of, if you think about the movie and the path that he was on from the beginning of the movie to that point, he was still such an underdog, and he came up on top. Like, I know this is Captain Carter's story, but Steve Rogers was such an underdog still, and he still made it to be like a hero in that ride. Very cool, but very Captain Carter. Amazing. Red Skull seems to be getting the portal open. Menacing smile. That was just a note. Tentacles are rising out of the portal. WCF. Red Skull gets crushed by the tentacles, and this is when Peggy realizes maybe we should have a plan. Yeah, well, you can't really have a plan when Red Skull's just pulling Hydra tentacles out of portals, space dimensions, right? And by the way, how do you get coordinates on the Tesseract? What do? Do you just wish for a Hydra tentacle monster? What are you going to do to get one of those? Bucky finds Steve and the suit and gets powered by the generator. At first, I didn't think this was going to work when he fell flat on his face. I was like, what? Is this really going to work? But it worked, and it was really cool. And the suit had different color flames. It was really badass. I love that. Now, this ending fight we get with the monster, Peggy, and Steve. Insane. I had to include it on the artwork here, the sword shield Peggy. It's one of the most insane things. I actually included the sword shield Peggy without me knowing it was in this first episode, but I was hoping it would be earlier on, so I wasn't putting something in there that was from too late in the show. But either way, I mean, it was kind of like President Loki. If it's in an advertisement, it's out there anyway, So President Loki was out there. I didn't know much about Shield and Sword Peggy, but she showed up in this episode, and I'm happy she did because she was so cool. Look at her. This Hydra monster was terrifying, interdimensional beast. She went right up against it. She went straight into its mouth, and like Steve flew the helicopter, the plane into the ice. Similarly, she walked straight into the dimensional portal and walked the beast back into the portal and walked herself straight into the future. I feel like maybe being stuck in ice is a little tiny bit dramatic, a little more traumatic, but they still had that moment of Peggy saying, "I can end this, and you owe me a dance lesson," and yes, Saturday night, and it's a good parallel, and that's how we get our parallel moment, and that's how Peggy gets brought to the in quotes present day or whatever 2012 of that time, and that future isn't too affected or changed. It's still Samuel L. Jackson. It's not like a different Nick Fury. It's still the regular Hawkeye. This isn't the zombie version of that timeline that we see in the other What If. Maybe it could turn into that. But yeah, this is just a regular other version of Earth. So it seems. Loki hasn't attacked yet, but this is the portal that Loki jumped out of. And also, Hawkeye's like, that's Captain Carter. And it's like, he's kind of geeking out. I don't like that. Everyone knows who Captain Carter is, similar to everyone who would know who Captain America is. So she is Captain America. She is the Captain America of that universe. Think a legendary Captain Carter would be. And the Hydra Smasher, a.k.a. Steve Rogers, probably out there, whatever. Older. Just as Peggy would have been. Interesting. Very interesting. Her one choice gave birth to a whole new history and gave the multiverse a whole new hero. As for me, these are my stories. I observe all that transpires here, but I do not, I cannot, I will not interfere, for I am the Watcher. That is what he says. That's the Watcher. That's not me. Well, I am Marvel Maniac. Yeah, I mean, how many more ways can I tell you? A+ for me on this one. The artwork phenomenal. It's just to wonder, where is this series going to take us? From the trailer, we know we're getting Spidey. We're getting Spidey, Doctor Strange stuff. We're getting zombies. We're getting all sorts of crossover stuff. I don't want to go too far. We're getting Ultron. We're getting Gamora, Thanos. We're getting. I see Ultron Infinity Stones. I have as my background. I don't want to say too much more. Let's just watch it. My podcast art, I'm really excited about. I'm excited to have you here today because you're freaking amazing. We are now on Instagram at Marvel Maniac Pod. Follow us, and we're going to be posting clips, pictures, maybe some giveaways at some point soon. If we get enough followers, let's get to a couple followers first. But I'm not going to hold that over your head. So what the heck? At Marvel Maniac Pod on Twitter, marvelmaniacpod@gmail.com. If you'd like to donate, at Mr. Anna's Podcast on PayPal. Thank you so much for being here today. I really can't tell you how much it means for you to be listening and for you to be spending your time with me. We will be back next week for another episode, wherever that may take us. Until then, Avengers, disassemble.